Welcome to Math with Professor V. Here's your latest series of the day, and we're just going to determine whether the infinite series converges or diverges. We have the sum from n equals 2 to infinity of 1 over n times the square root of the natural log of n. So to run through some of the options before we choose the appropriate test, first thing, I can't use comparison test, direct comparison, or limit comparison. If you were thinking, oh, this reminds me of harmonic, well, having this extra rad natural log of n in the denominator makes the terms of this series a little bit smaller than the terms of our harmonic series, n equals 1 to infinity, 1 over n. And we know that this guy diverges. So if the terms of our series are slightly smaller, direct comparison won't give us any information. This could still converge or diverge. Limit comparison with 1 over n wouldn't be helpful either. You'll end up getting 0, which is inconclusive. And if you change it to a different p series, it's not going to work out either. So on that note, you're kind of running out of options. It's not the time for the ratio test. That will be inconclusive as well. And hopefully you're somewhat inspired because you see this natural log and an n in the denominator and you're thinking, ooh, it's giving me vibes of a u sub. Perhaps I could use the integral test. So that's where this is going. So first, before we apply the integral test, we have to make sure that the three conditions are satisfied. So we start off by saying let f of x equal 1 over x times the square root of natural log of x. And the three conditions are as follows. 1, f has to be continuous on, in this case, the limits are from 2 to infinity for our sum, so that's where f needs to be continuous. Well, look at this function here, 1 over x, rad natural log of x. We know natural log of x's domain is restricted. Also, we can't have a negative underneath this radical. So basically, the domain of my function is from 1 to infinity. And we know, we have a theorem earlier in Calculus 1 that logarithmic functions, rational functions, etc. are continuous on their domain. So if the domain of my function is 1 to infinity, it's continuous on 1 to infinity, so therefore it's continuous on the given interval that we need. That's fine. The second thing we need to check is that f of x is positive on the interval from 2 to infinity. So sure, no problem. 2 to infinity, that x is positive. Natural log of x is positive from 2 to infinity. There isn't anything rigorous you do. You just put a little check mark. The third thing is we need to make sure f of x is decreasing on the interval. And if it's not obvious, then you should take a derivative to verify. In this case, it's obvious. If x gets larger, the denominator is getting larger. So obviously this is a decreasing function. I don't need to go through taking the derivative. That's straightforward. So then that means it's okay to go ahead and use the integral test. So now let's just tell the people it's okay to use the integral test. Okay, so now we say let's consider the improper integral from 2 to infinity, so I have to make my limits of integration match the limits of the sum of f of x dx. So that would be 1 over x radical natural log of x dx. And when you have an improper integral, the very first thing you need to do is rewrite it as a limit and get rid of exactly that infinity up top. So we're going to rewrite this as the limit as t approaches infinity of the integral from 2 to t of 1 over x times square root, natural log of x dx. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and do that u substitution that inspired us earlier in the problem. So let's let u equal natural log of x, then du is 1 over x dx, which we have right here. 1 over x dx, that's my du. We also need to change the limits of integration, t and 2. Those limits currently belong to the variable x, so I'm going to substitute them in for x right there. So u of 2 is natural log of 2, and then u of t is natural log of t. So those are my new limits of integration. So let's put it all together. Now I have the limit, t approaches infinity, integral from natural log of 2 to natural log of t. And then we have 1 over rad u du. That's all that's left after doing the u substitution. How are we doing? Okay, excellent. Now let's compute the rest of the integral. Natural log of 2, natural log of t. This is u to the negative 1/2 du. We're going to add 1 to the exponent and divide by the new exponent. So we have limit t goes to infinity. This is going to be u to the 1/2 power, and then I'm going to divide by 1/2. So we have 2u to the 1/2 evaluated from natural log of 2 to natural log of t. Good. Now, this 2, you can put it all the way out and not include it when evaluating u to the 1/2 at the limits of integration. That sometimes makes things easier. So we've got limit t goes to infinity 2 times, this is square root of natural log of t minus square root natural log of 2. Okay, and then let's think here. Hopefully you're imagining the graph of natural log. As t gets very, very large, natural log of t will get very, very large as well. So this is approaching infinity. If I take the square root of something approaching infinity, it's still approaching infinity. So I have something approaching infinity minus, this is a constant, some number, and then all of that is getting multiplied by 2. Which doesn't change the fact that all of this limit is approaching positive infinity. Ooh. So what does that tell me? So here's the grand finale. This means that the improper integral diverges since the limit did not exist as a finite number, which tells me then that the infinite series from n equals 2 to infinity, 1 over n times the square root of natural log of n also diverges by the integral test. Okay, so it's important to note when applying the integral test, if this limit is a finite number, if this limit exists, then we say that the integral converges, so our series converges. If this limit doesn't exist or it goes to positive infinity or negative infinity, the integral diverges, so our series diverges. The value of this improper integral need not be the value of the infinite series when it happens to converge. And we can talk about this more later, but the integral test is just a tool to let you know if the series converges or diverges. It doesn't give you any information about what the sum converges to for the infinite series that do converge. And just make sure you check that those conditions are satisfied. We can do another spicier one later where maybe it's not obvious that f is decreasing and we have to take a derivative. But that was just a good example of why you do need the integral test, because none of the others would work. If you can think of something else that works, let me know in the comments down below and I'll let you know if you're right or wrong. Or maybe it's something I didn't think of, but when I ran through the list, this was the only one. So hope you enjoyed this series of the day. Give the video a thumbs up. Let me know how you set this whole problem up. Hopefully it was pretty straightforward and you got it right. And I'll be making more series of the day, integrals of the day, and whatnot as the summer continues. But I am teaching, so I'm a busy bee right now. Anyways, thank you guys so much for your support. I love you all. And you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Math with Professor V. I'll be back sooner than later. Bye.